You're listening to the Turnaround Podcast, the true life basketball story of Bull City's own Stuart Squirt Holly.
Yo, man, this beat crazy.
So I left the summer of 2004 for my first trip. Never been out of the country before, didn't know what to expect, didn't tell anybody. Only my family knew, intimate family knew, my moms, my brothers, my sisters, select friends. So I get to Lithuania, Europe, which was like a 22-hour flight in total. I had a total of 2 connecting flights. Flew from RDU to Amsterdam, from Amsterdam to Lithuania. So, it was a pretty long flight. Anyway, my very first flight, I watched about 3 different movies on the flight. We flew on the A330. People who don't know what the A330 is, it's like international plane. So I remember once I got there, my college teammate and one of his friends, they come to get me at the airport. And they actually had a young lady with them and some representatives from, I guess, the U.S. embassies. And so they briefed me on some rules and some regulations. And they also wanted me to be made aware of the black population there, which was from 3 to 5%. And this is a country of talking to 3 million odd people, and blacks only make up 3 to 5%. So I just remember them telling me things like, don't be offended when people stare at you, and the things that they briefed me on before I left the airport. It was kind of, I don't know how to say, it was unbelievable, I guess. I didn't believe that it happened. But once I actually flew into Vilnius, which is the capital city of Lithuania, and the city I was, going to be living in was Joniškis with a J, and which was like 3.5, 4 hours away from the capital city, a little small town like Chapel Hill, a little small town, or any other small town in North Carolina. So when we left the airport and traveled through the country, the cities and all of that, as I get out, I started to see quickly what they meant. I didn't see black people anywhere, nowhere. In fact, I was there for maybe 4 or 5 months before I ran into another black person. And this is actually when the season had started. Because I was there 3 months before the season started just to get in some basketball shape. Because to play on an international level as a professional, my body had needed a different type of a conditioning. So the work that we did that summer, they would take me running and jog at some of their parks, which were huge farmland. And I know one thing that stood out in running in those pastures, we ran out, it was just beautiful, just countryside, just looked like farmland. And they warned us about the cow shit. The cows, when they look like large mushrooms. Anybody know what I'm talking about? When they ever see large mushrooms on the ground, that's what they look like. That was one thing stood out about that pasture that we ran in. Cow shit looked like we was in a landmine field. So you were jogging through this pasture, but you dodging cow shit. Because if you step in that, you don't want to step in that. Ruin your whole day. Might ruin your week. And we used to run downhill and make space to talk. So those type of things had got me nice and lean. And I had a live-in nutritionist who woke me up every morning, early in the morning, around 5, 6 o'clock. And he had blender going first thing in the morning, wake me up, because I wasn't used to that. First thing in the morning, carrots, and make carrot juice. And that's the first thing I'll wake up to every morning was freshly made blended carrot juice. That was probably the best shape. That is the best shape I've ever been in my life. I was so lean going to that season. At 6'3", I was 188 pounds, 190 pounds maybe as a combo guard. So my athleticism and my skill sets, I felt so light on my feet. And at that time, social media wasn't where it was at right now. And people, cell phones where they're at right now in time. So for me to get my hands on footage of me actually dominating my position over there will be an interesting little process. I've never seen any statistic when I competed overseas. I've never seen any footage to this day of myself when I played overseas. Because again, I'm out there playing. A lot of those games were televised. And the teams that we played against definitely had someone in place recording those games. I would love to even go back and look at that myself just because I'm older now. It was the highest honor representing that team and that city the team was based in, Joniškis. It was a high honor. And the people of not just Lithuania embraced me, but the people in that city where I lived at, that little town. I can't even call it a city, but I guess it is a small city, but it's more like a small town. They embraced me as one of their own. And looking back, now that I know the business side of basketball, I generated some good business for a lot of little small businesses over there when I would show my face and patronize their business, from bars to restaurants that I frequented, just because there I was a celebrity, being that I'm from America and I'm on the team, and that it's no different than how Americans treat NBA players. It's just that I'm international. So someone actually asked me about it the other day, how does that feel? And I say, it's hard to explain. I just try to tell the people over there, I'm just a regular boy from North Carolina, but they looking at me like I'm some superstar to them, some type of a savior to them. And I'm like, I'm just a regular boy from North Carolina that loves to play basketball. And everywhere I went, I was the only black person in that town, in that city. And like I said, that's a European country, so you don't see black. Few are there. That country is probably the size of West Virginia. And just, I guess, statistically, one way to look at it, like out of 3 million people, you talk to maybe 300 black people throughout that whole country, maybe. And they're all there to play a sport, you know. Very few on probably there for other reasons, but people of that country, Lithuania, beautiful people, very strong people. They work hard. They got a lot of pride. And I definitely love their eating habits. This is more natural. Being that I was there to represent their home team that represented in the NKL, the National, Krepshino League. My first year with that team, the team was called Zemgala. And my second year with the team, they moved away from that name, Zemgala. And the team is still to this day, it's called Delikateskis, with a D. And so at times, it definitely was from a player standpoint between me and the coaching staff. There was some pressure because I was the offense. The ball was ran through me. So if we lost games, I was the first to take pretty much the blame for it. And if we won games, I took the blame for it. It was never nothing negative, though, if we lost. But still, it should have been me who could have and should have did more because I was the best player on the team. And we had some guys on the team who were also pros, and they had been other countries playing basketball themselves. I wasn't the oldest on the team. We had a few guys that was older than me, so it was just my first time international. So these guys was veterans compared to me. So I learned a lot from them. And actually, who became like an older brother to me. You always hear how NBA players tell you about when they came into the league, their rookie year. It's always one of the veteran NBA players who put their arms around them and showed them how to be a professional. For me, that guy, his name is Arūnas Šefris. And, it was like a god in the Joniškis, Lithuania. They loved Arūnas. And I always felt if I can give anybody a picture of Arūnas, he was like a 6'1" Mono Jair, and he was deadly from behind that three ball. And Arūnas was the one who put his arms around me and welcomed me because he was the one who was leading that team. And when I got there, my job was to lead this team. And so me and Arūnas, it was like a big brother, little brother thing. There was never no friction between us. I looked at him like he big bruh, but he would always tell me, man. He could talk some English, so he used to always say, man, before he said anything to me. He used to tell me what Shaq used to tell Wade when Shaq had came to Miami. Hey, I'm a shell of myself. So that's what Arunas used to basically tell me. Hey, man, I done took this as far as we can go. It's you who make this steamboat go. And so Arunas was the one who also taught me the mechanics of that jump shot. My college coach never said much to me in practice like some of the other players. And I'm not going to disrespect none of my college teammates. But everything I did naturally, Dean tried to coach to my college teammates. The only thing Dean used to say to me was my jump shot was flat. But he never taught me how to unflatten my jump shot, whatever the hell that meant. But your jump shot flat. Stuart, your jump shot flat. You know, even though I say he never showed me how to shoot. And I know I used to have shootout wars with BJ. He was the best shooter on the team and the best scorer on the team outside myself. But BJ had a better jump shot than me at that time in life. He could shoot. So, but he couldn't teach me how to shoot at that time. He tried to show me, but he couldn't teach me. So fast forward to playing in Europe now as a pro now, Arunas was the one who actually taught me how to clean up my jump shot and the mechanics of the jump shot. And to this day, I thank that body of work, Arunas, that one-on-one time with Arunas, because he showed me how to be a sniper. And Arunas, he knows to this day, we brothers always. So anybody that play a sport, they know what I mean by the brotherhood or sisterhood because of the things you go through as a team or other people. The fans don't go through that. And that's no disrespect to the fans of the sport because they go through their own dilemmas in life. But we go through those dilemmas in life also along with the magnitude of being associated and a team member of a basketball club or a basketball team, whether it's high school, middle school, college, pro team. We still have lives outside of that and away from that sport. So to juggle both and to maintain both, it's not as easy as some people would think it is. It's a complex thing. It's just easy because we love that. It was easy because I loved it. And it was never an easy road. It was always a complex thing. And there were other elements that go into it. So, but like I said, the love for it makes it easy and make you say, I want more of this. Because it builds character and it builds strength. And when you can embrace that and you love that and you welcome that. So that's why I tell and encourage anybody to this day, find what you love to do, find what you love to do, and just relentlessly chase after that. For me, it was basketball. And to have an opportunity to compete as a professional, that was always a dream of mine. So now I'm actually here, and this is actually happening at the time of my life. You know, I'm embracing it all. I didn't know what to think or what not to think, but I embraced it all. I signed every autograph a fan ever wanted. I took every picture a fan ever wanted. Even there was times where I was totally off guard. I could be in the grocery store, over there it's not called a grocery store, it's called a Productuvi with a P. Productuvi, they rolled that aura in Lithuania. Productuvi. So I'm in one of the, what we call grocery stores over here, shopping, and I can just remember this one particular time, just one family, they just lost it. And the children, they all wanted to take photos with me and, you know, all those things. And we stood there, we took photos and pictures, and it was just almost, you couldn't even get out of the grocery store because other families too, the cashiers. But those are moments, like I said, I would never ever forget. Because at the end, like I said, I'm just a regular boy from North Carolina, just a regular country boy from Durham, North Carolina, born in Eden. And I embraced that. There was a lot of moments. I remember when we would go on the road to play against other teams within Lithuania and Latvia. And I can remember how the fans of that team would be outside waiting on our bus with signs for me. They all wanted to see the American. And it was crazy that their fans was here to see me. They wanted to see an American black. And I just happened with that one. It was, I had to take a deep breath on that one because that's what it was like. Just let me take a deep breath. Wow, 8,000 people. Playing some places it might be 10,000 people. And the vast majority of them is rooting for you. Feeling is something I just can't explain. The adrenaline rush, see a crowd just go crazy like that because you hit a stupid ass jump shot or you dunked it. It's a high. It's a moment to me where I was free, because anytime I step on a basketball court, that moment in time in life, I feel free. So to do that and people to marvel, and that's the greatest feeling in the world, to be accepted. I know what it feels like to be in zone. I'm talking about you don't see, hear, you don't smell, you just see. And this makes it come off some kind of way, but you just feel death all around you on the basketball court. And what I mean by this death all around you, anything in my way, I'm killing. It's like being unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? So I blacked out like that. I'm in a zone.
This has been a Vanguard Podcast Network original. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Turnaround Podcast, and follow the Turnaround Podcast on Instagram by clicking the link in the show notes. If you'd like to book Stuart Holly for a speaking engagement or to be a guest on your show, please reach out to theturnaround77@gmail.com, and someone will get back to you within 48 hours. Thank you for listening.